Welcome to the Love and Longevity podcast, where we are just having conversations here. And those conversations are based off of love and longevity. So that ranges from love, friendships, relationships to aging in place, caring for our parents, caring for our grandparents, just caring in general for others, as well as just how to live your best life at every single stage. Every episode, we want to provide actionable insights, and I'm so excited for our guest. But first, my name is Christian Ross. I'm the founder and chief happiness officer of Happy Talks, where we provide social calls for older adults. Our whole goal is to curb loneliness. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Love and Longevity with Christian Ross. I am so excited to have Miss Deniece Griffin with me from Interval. Welcome, Deniece.
Thank you. And thank you for inviting me. I appreciate the interest in menopause health, so thank you very much.
So please tell a little bit about your background and how you started Interval Health.
Okay, Interval came about as a result of me being involved in the fitness industry. For 20 plus years, I had a virtual fitness business during the pandemic. I have since pivoted the business to focus on menopausal health.
Okay.
But for the 20 plus years that I was in the fitness industry, women would always come up to me, and as I got older, they would ask me about how I stay healthy, what's the secret. And I started telling them that movement was the key for me. And going through menopause, it was so important to stay active. And so the menopause subject came up so many times that over the years, I started thinking there's a need for more information and knowledge regarding menopause.
Yeah. It's so interesting you say that because, you know, you've been involved in fitness.
Mm-hmm.
I have been quite sporadic with fitness, like very sporadic. And I will say it was actually when I got my Peloton tread that even though I had the bike and we had tonal, it was when I got the tread that I actually really started being consistent since then. I've been consistent for the past 4.5 months, 5 months now. And now my body craves it.
That's what happens.
It's amazing. I was even at Costco yesterday. I'm taking the Tide out, and I'm taking the Tide, and I'm like, I don't even know what that exercise is called. I don't know what it's called, but I took the Tide, and I was, and my husband though, he's super fitness.
Okay.
He works out. When he was working from home, he worked out 2 to 3 times a day.
Okay. Oh,
but
good.
now he definitely works out 6 days a week.
Okay.
Like he understands movement. He's always been like that.
Yeah.
So now he sees my consistency because I've always said, I'm starting. And he's like, girl, I'll believe it when I see it. That's basically how he's been like.
That's great that you have incorporated movement into your everyday life. You know, and the fact that you found the opportunity to do an overhead lift is...
That's what it's over. I was like, I know this has a name. I don't know what the name is.
Well, you did a bicep curl to an overhead lift. So you did a few things there, which was good.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do. In order to stay active and to move, you got to find a way to incorporate movement into your everyday activities.
You know, I think about it too, when you said just about movement, how it helps, but even reaching up to your cabinets, like all of those things are movements that as you get older, you want to make sure you can still have those movements.
Yeah. And this is something I've been doing probably for the past 5 or 6 years, is before I get out of bed every morning, I stretch in bed. I don't just get up and roll out of bed. I lay in bed and I do a series of stretches that help me move better throughout the day. So when I get up, I'm not all stoic, I'm stiff or anything. It's because I've already prepared my body for movement before I actually get out of bed. And it's just a few little moves. It doesn't require a whole lot.
Yeah.
Just whatever feels comfortable for you, but it's to get you going in the day. So that's something I would recommend to all your listeners and viewers, is to incorporate a little stretch session before you get out of bed, just to get your body going.
I like that. And it's funny because now it makes me think of when I do it. Again, now this is not consistent, but when I've done that, it almost feels like your shoulders are automatically rolling back and you feel taller as you're getting out of bed. So I need to make that a practice. That makes sense. And you know, when we first met, we were talking about what you were doing and menopause, and you said something to me that has stuck to me, and I have repeated to at least, I'm not lying.
I know what you're talking about.
To at least 100 women.
Okay.
You were the first person that said, talk to your aunts, talk to your grandmother.
Yes.
about their menopause experience.
Right. We're a communal people. You know, we're used to being around our family, our friends. You know, we socialize. And over the years and centuries, we've separated from what's considered like a tribe where we're all together and you're with your aunts and you're with your cousins, you're with your mother, your grandmother, and they're there to help you along the way through your journey through menopause. And now that you live in one city, your mother lives in another city, your aunt lives in another city, you don't really have that network or knowledge base to ask questions about what's happening when you're going through perimenopause, which is the period before menopause. And that's when most of the questions arise with women is what is happening to me? What can I expect? Those are the questions that I get most of the time is like, what's happening? You know, most people know about hot flashes. They know about brain fog. You know, like I can't concentrate. They know about night sweats. You know, those are like the anxiety, some anxiety. But the top three is mainly night sweats, hot flashes, and brain fog. Those are like the top three that women experience. But they don't know where to go to get answers. And you can't ask your girlfriend, because why? She going through it too.
Well, it's funny because I think about, we have a friend, congratulations again, Marshawn, for beating cancer. We were at her celebration. And she was just so funny because she's 44. And she said, 43, 44. She was like, Christian, I think I'm going through perimenopause and my doctors won't listen to me. So the crazy thing is, I've now heard that from 4 different women that have said they're early 40s and they're like, I think I'm going through perimenopause. My doctors won't listen to me.
It is so common. Okay, you're right. And your friend is spot on. Doctors have very little training in menopause, especially general doctors have very little training. They don't really know or how to direct you to help you with the various symptoms. There's a tendency to give people, women, antidepressants when they're going through, because all of these changes are happening. They're hormonal. They're all hormonal imbalances that you're experiencing, and it impacts everything, your entire body, from your joints to your heart to your brain. It impacts everything.
I did not know that.
I know. I'm sorry, I don't want to frighten anyone because it is not that bad. I mean, it's,
but the reality
you're experiencing it, but it's not that bad.
Even when we eat something or we do something, the reality is all of this is connected together.
Exactly.
It's all connected.
Exactly. You can't spot reduce. You can't lose in one place and keep it.
God, I wish you could.
I know. I hear that too all the time, being in fitness. Oh, all I want to do is lose my stomach. Well, it's all over. But the same thing about hormones. It's impacting all of you. You know, it does dissipate over time. You know, of course, when you're going through, like your friend is going through, you know, 40s, 45, 50 is usually like the sweet spot there for most women to start experiencing these things. And usually when they are spotting or they're having a period for 2 months and they don't have a period and they have a period. So it's on and off cycles.
Oh, so that's one of the telltale signs?
Yeah. And you have to not have had a period for 12 months, 12 consecutive months, and then you're considered to be in menopause. And, you know, that's when you feel like, okay, I'm there now. Go ahead and embrace it. Full steam ahead, which is where I want people to really feel empowered. Because you can continue to do all the things you did before and don't feel like it's life-changing to where you can't do anything you want to do. You can still do everything that you did before. And someone else shared this with me about puberty. Think about it. We went through puberty.
That's right.
And we survived.
We forget about, you know.
We forget about it.
I totally forgot about puberty.
I know. And you talk about, it was the worst time, face breaking out.
Acne, the this.
That's it, body changing. You survived.
That's so true.
You survived this too.
It's funny you say that about puberty. I had a little epiphany the other day when I was like looking at some video, some crazy video, and I said, how is it that, you know, boys are like X way or young men? And then I thought about it. We're on the playground as young women getting our period. We instantly get introduced to life being different from our body. Wait, like boys don't even have a clue. They're living their best lives.
That's right.
And I got mine early and I was with my father.
Yeah.
I was with my father. I'll never forget. I was in the bathroom and I just started screaming because I was like, I don't know what's
right.
Because I was 9. No one thought.
Oh, that's early.
It was so early. I was 9 or 10. I think I might have been 10.
I was 11, so I was considered. Yeah.
So I think I might have been 10. But I just know it was something that my mom didn't think that she would have to talk to me about so soon.
Right.
And I was with my dad. I'm screaming, and he's coming in like, oh. I'll be back.
Well, at least he, acknowledged it and knew that you needed attention.
Yeah.
And not just said, just come on, let's go. He said, wait right here.
Yeah, he's like, wait right here. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And it's like you are instantly thrust into thinking about different, really adult things.
That's right.
Once you get your period and you're young as a girl.
Yeah.
And so, when I think about even with menopause, just like you think about puberty, how would you say for someone to explain to their loved one what to maybe not anticipate, but just kind of like, hey, give me some grace, work with me.
Right.
How to communicate with your partner.
So you're asking me, how would I communicate with my partner, how to handle menopause?
Yeah, since it affects them as well.
Yes. Oh, and it does. And I've had people tell me that their mothers were going through it and how hard it was for the entire family. When they were going through it, how it can put you in depression. There are over 30 symptoms, or nearly 30 symptoms that women can
30?
I know. I hate to tell people that too. When something happens, you say, oh, okay, well, that falls under that category. Because you're not getting the advice that you need from your doctor, so you need other places to come for that information. So
which Interval is going to be.
Exactly. Thank you for that shameless plug. So what I would tell someone, especially a partner, and of course, this transition occurs gradually. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
So your partner, your friend is noticing these things gradually. So it's not like they wake up and you're, I'm in it, I'm, doing this, it's a gradual thing. So, just continue to communicate with them.
Yeah.
And let them know it's happening, that this is a part of my life. I'm embracing it.
Yeah.
And I thank you for your compassion, your grace, as you put it, your understanding through this. And just know that you're not alone.
Right.
There are over 6,000 women that enter into perimenopause and menopause a day in the U.S. So you're not alone.
Wow.
That's a lot of. So what you're experiencing, or what your audience is experiencing, you're not alone, and you think you are because you have your little core group of friends. They may be going through it or not, but just know that this is universal. Women all over, no matter what your age, where you are,
you're going to experience it.
You're going to experience it. If you're alive, you're going to experience it.
I was about to say, and hopefully you're alive to experience it. So see it also as a blessing that you're turning to a new season.
That's true.
Hi, I'm Christian Ross, founder and chief happiness officer of Happy Talks, where we provide social phone calls for older adults. So while you're thinking about the care of your loved one, remember, connection is key to optimal health, and we would love to partner with you. Go ahead and visit www.happytalks.com. And it's funny too, because when I thought it was so crazy when my friend said it, because I don't know where I was at. It might have been at one of our Women in a Tech events, and I was talking to someone that I know. This wasn't like a random conversation. And they had mentioned it and said, I felt like in a week I heard perimenopause between women who were like 36 to 44. I heard it so much. And I was like, okay, this is the season of life we're in, my friends.
That's right. And you'll hear it more and more now that, the universe has opened up.
Right.
You'll hear it more and more and more. So I would say just ask for grace and compassion through it. They notice it. They know it's happening. Continue to communicate. It gets better. No matter whatever it is you're going through, it gets better.
Yep.
As your body adjusts and their hormone situation fluctuates, there are medicines, there's supplements, there's so many options out there for women to try, try 2 or 3 and find what works for you, and your situation, what you're able to handle. Some women don't go through the natural menopause, but they have other surgical type procedures that require them. Giving them the grace as well, because that's a part of life as well. So just acknowledging that it can happen in different situations, but we're all going through it is basically what I'm saying.
It's interesting too, because we're half the population.
That's the truth.
So it's the fact
true.
that we're not talking about this openly,
That's true.
that we're not having more conversations, and that, hopefully men ask more questions too, because the reality is you should want to know what's going on with your wife or your partner or your sister or your mom.
True.
And because you said, ask your aunts, ask your grandmother.
Yeah.
My grandmother's not here with us, but I asked my mother. And
oh, good.
yeah, I asked my mom because I remembered being in college and I came home and I needed a pad.
Uh-huh.
And I looked around the house. I looked everywhere and I was like, Mommy, where are our, our sanitary items?
Right.
And she's like, oh, I went through menopause. I'm through menopause. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. So I didn't think anything of it. She took me to the store. But I had a intentional conversation with her the other week about it. She said, oh, it was great. She said, it wasn't bad at all. And I was like, oh, gosh, I hope that's my experience.
Good.
And then she said, I'm sure everyone around me would say I was my wonderful self. And I was like,
uh-oh.
See, now that you said that, your wonderful self. I just thought that was so funny she said that. Like she added that extra part in.
Yeah.
But when you think about how you want Interval to impact women who are maybe getting ready to experience menopause or who are going through it, what do you want it to be for women?
Okay. Yes. And thank you again for allowing me to share Interval with your audience. Interval is a companion app for women going into perimenopause primarily, and for those who are in menopause. What I want people to know is the app itself is more of a digital solution, a digital platform for health to help women in this transition, to empower them to do other things is what I'm trying to connect the dots, that there's so many other things you can do. So Interval will be a place where they can put in their symptoms each day. You will be able to go in and put whether or not you had a good night's sleep, or if you had severe migraines, or if you had insomnia. There's different levels of different things. And it will track your symptoms for you so you can see over time how you are progressing over a week, what days you had migraines, which days you had insomnia, which days you had hot flashes, how severe they were, etc. And then you'll be able to see where you can make some adjustments in your lifestyle, if that will help, whether it's nutrition or diet, because those things impact hot flashes and other things.
That was my next question, actually, about food.
Yeah, food impacts it as well.
Yeah.
And then...
No hot wings, ladies. No hot wings.
Or wine. Wine is another thing.
Really?
Yeah, it impacts,
That is interesting.
Yeah. So, nutrition, your activity level, fitness. I was telling you about how it helped me throughout everything. It helps tremendously. The stretching, the movement, all that helps relieve stress. And stress, as a whole, it can be harmful to women and men, but, particularly for women. So I would say, Interval would be a companion to help you along the way. There are period trackers. There's all sorts of things like that. So women are used to tracking their cycle, their system, what they're going through. So this will be something that they can carry to the next level of life that will empower them to do other things.
I love that, because especially too, when you think about time, time passes by so fast, which is also frightening. I think about the fact that you can track those symptoms, what you're feeling every day. And when you are going to your doctor and saying, I've been experiencing this, you can say, I have been experiencing this for 4 months, 6 months, 12 months. Versus, I think I put it in my Apple Note. I think it was this time. And we need that, because those doctors, they have limited time. They're coming in as succinct and as direct and as informative as you can be. You help them serve you better.
Yeah. You just gave me an idea, finding a way to sync our app with the platforms that doctors already have.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you just gave me that idea. I'm going to investigate that, to be able to, because right now we're talking about being able to download your results from your weekly or monthly numbers and stuff, being able to print that off so you could take it to your doctor.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't we just upload it to my chart? Whatever the platform is, and that way they can view it in advance of
and you just already have the privacy. You're like, yes, I allow them.
All that's important. We're definitely including that to make sure we're compliance with all the HIPAA and all the other requirements for protection of the users.
And how has it been as a female entrepreneur?
Yeah.
It's different.
You know it.
It's different.
You know it.
How has just being a female entrepreneur been? What suggestions would you give someone who's like, you know what? I have been impacted by something. I want to start a business.
Yeah.
What would you tell that person?
I think you have to find something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
To me, this is a passion of mine.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
I just do it because
I feel the same exact way with Happy Talks. Yeah.
I can tell. I can tell.
Yeah.
You have to find something that you're passionate about. And I'm passionate about women.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about health. I'm passionate about moving us forward as a people, as women. I've always been that way. And so this just ties in with the stage that I'm in my life. And I've been there, done that. So I'm going to bring along as many women as I can and show them the way. My grandmother, your aunt, all would have wanted to do the same. Interval will fill in for them to answer those questions.
I love that. And then how would you also say, we talked about how to talk to the partners and spouses in your life. How would you talk to your kids so that they also understand?
Oh, again, they see you going through it. So
They know.
They know mama's something going on with mama. Again, going back to the whole communication thing, I would think children probably need examples. They probably need to show them.
Yeah.
I mean, an adult can understand because they've experienced life enough.
Yeah.
But children probably need examples of people who are where you're going and know that you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know? So they just need the reassurance that, you know, mommy's going through some things. I don't sleep much at night because of what I'm going through, but no, I'm going to be okay. Auntie so-and-so made it through this, or name a famous person.
Yeah.
You know, she's going through it as well. Oprah Winfrey's going through it. You know, name somebody who we know has gone through it. And then they'll put them at ease.
Gotcha.
Because I think they don't really have that frame of reference that an adult does, that you'll be okay. But if you can show them or share with them someone that they can relate to, then I think it will put them at ease.
That makes so much sense. And thank you for this, because it's funny. We called this episode The Pause.
The pause.
And it's called The Pause because, you know, it really is, yes, it's menopause.
Yeah.
But it's a pause in a lot of things. And the other thing I wanted to touch on is the mental part as a woman, because the reality is, you know, we think about these things that happen in life. They're the cornerstones of our womanhood, if you will. You know, like, oh, I've done this, and, you know, you got your period. Oh, I'm a lady. What is kind of the mental things that you think women go through when they realize they're menopause?
I think one of the main things that women experience is they feel like they are losing something. And of course, they're losing the ability to have children, childbirth. Yes, they are losing that ability. So I think that's that's the main thing, that women feel like they're being less desirable or less of a woman because they no longer can produce. Other than that, you know, the freedom from periods, I think we all can applaud that option of not having to deal with that. But just being able to know you no longer can have children, give birth, that kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I could totally see that, because it's funny. I've always said, I wonder how I'm going to be because of the fact I'm child-free by choice.
Okay.
And I knew very early that I did not want children.
Okay.
And so I was like, I wonder how it will be mentally for me. Like, yes, I could have a child. I've chosen not to. But when that time comes and it's not an option anymore, regardless.
That's right.
Even though I don't want the option, it's not an option.
Right.
It's psychologically,
out of your control.
how will I be? Like, I'm
Correct.
like, let me find my therapist beforehand. Because I just know how I get. So
That's the main thing, is they feel like they're losing that. All the other stuff, I think we are all able to deal with, but that's the main thing.
I would say to the men who may have listened this far, or I'll put a spot and say for the men, this is the perfect time if you know your partner is getting ready to go through menopause or going through menopause, for you to just be extra supportive and just
That's a great idea. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, just be extra supportive, and know that like she's supported you, and this is a perfect time to support back, and just know that there's going to be some changes, but she's still the same person. Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you want to share, and how actually can everyone find you?
Oh, you can find me, you can find Interval at getmyinterval.com.
Perfect. And we'll put this in the show notes.
Okay. We are in the process of launching a beta version of the app in May. So if you are in perimenopause or menopause, I would recommend that you go to getmyinterval.com, send us your email, share your email with us, and we will put you on our list, and you will receive a link to download the app, and you can be one of our beta testers and give us some feedback so we can tweak it, get it perfect just for the women out there. My goal is to launch it in the first of the year. So we're a little early, but now is the time to start getting information out there and get the feedback from people. I've done lots of customer discovery up to this point. As you know, as an entrepreneur, they always tell you, do that customer discovery. You got to do it.
And you have to keep doing it. Just for entrepreneurs too. Even though you do it before you're starting the business, it is constant. You have to constantly talk to your customers, talk to your prospective customers, understand their journeys, understand their stories, and understand their perspectives.
And this is how we're doing that. And of course, if you become a beta tester and you help us throughout this process, you would have the premium version of the app once we launch it live. So that's
nice.
Incentive to help us along the way.
So if you know someone who is going through menopause or is approaching their perimenopause, make sure you share the website so they can sign up, be a beta tester. And the great thing is like you're already creating a community where you can learn from other people.
Yes.
So let's continue to learn from each other and grow. And I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. The pause. No. Thank you for joining us at Love and Longevity with Christian Ross. If you enjoyed what you heard, give us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform and be sure to follow us. And if you like more from me, you can subscribe to the Happy Talks newsletter at the link in the show notes. Thanks for listening.